This is just one of my favorite views that I'm really gonna miss. When I come around the corner, I look at that Dutch door and I look out to that garden. This has just been my home for 15 years and I have accomplished so much in this little kitchen. I am so sentimental. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So here I am in the Entertaining with Beth kitchen for the last time, but only stateside. You're gonna be seeing me very soon in my French kitchen, which truth be told is a better kitchen. Let's be honest. It's easier to shoot in, it has better light, and it's just a little more stylish, I have to say. But I am very sentimental to this kitchen because this is the kitchen that started it all. I think about my first YouTube shoot, which was in this kitchen, and what a nervous wreck I was. And I had a whole crew full of people standing right here watching me, and I just was a nervous wreck. I remember the camera person being here. I was sitting in a chair here talking about pancakes, and I thought, there's no way I'm doing this again. This is too nerve-wracking. I thought that would be my first and last shoot. Cut to 12 years later, I'm still at it. And it's so much easier than it ever was. I think that just goes to show you that things that are hard in the beginning become easy once you get better at them. In fact, my 5-year-old daughter at the time told me, "Mommy, the only way to get good at something is to practice when you're bad at something." I thought that was like the most profound tip of the day. And I'm so glad I didn't give up. And then I did another shoot day and I said, okay, I think I can do 5 more recipes. And after that, could you do 5 more? Yeah, I can do 5 more. And every day we would shoot, I would do 5 more recipes until it became easier and easier. When we moved into this kitchen, I think I have a shot of myself from this very vantage point. I was over here and 15 years younger. And the whole kitchen was green and the cabinets were brown. It was a foreclosure that needed so much work. And we did a lot to it. We kept the original bay window because I always have loved that window. We put our little dining nook right here. We added this cute Dutch door. We raised a family when we moved in here, so it was really great that you could kind of lock this, but you could still get air. And I have so many memories of so many crews in this kitchen, having just so much fun with the people that helped me launch this channel. We spent a lot of hours in this kitchen. And also all the family memories that I have of all the parties we've had and the holidays and the cooking with my dad and my mom being at the kitchen table. All of that is what just comes rushing back when I look in this kitchen. I look out on this island and I see my little girls who are now teenagers making Christmas cookies or sitting here at the breakfast table with my husband Philippe. So many memories happened just in this one room. It's just crazy to me. Okay, do you want a house tour? I know this is something that you guys always ask me for, a little house tour, and there's always something else to work on before I was going to do a house tour, and then you know what happened? I never did it. So now you'll get the house tour, but sadly there's nothing in it. We give our keys away tomorrow to the new owner. And it's bittersweet, but I'm also really excited to kind of give them the keys and say, okay, now you make a life here. Okay, so here was our living room. I always loved this living room, especially when I had small children, because I could be in the kitchen and anybody was just about an earshot away. So it was not hard to come running in if need be. But I look at this living room and again, I just have a lot of memories of the Christmas tree we would put in the corner and decorating that. Christmas morning, I don't know, there's a lot of memories of us just enjoying family time in this living room. But now somebody else is going to enjoy that. But one of the things you can tell from this house that's really great is it's walled with hedges all the way around. And so from any vantage point, when you're looking out, you just see greenery. And I think that that was something we really loved about this house that I'm gonna miss. And the light, there was incredible light in this house, which made it really great for food photography. Okay, now coming down the hallway, it's a little front entrance. This was our powder room. I used to have all of these great pictures that my dad had drawn of all of us and collages. I took those all down and I put them in a book because I couldn't take the frames, but now I have a wonderful book with all those pictures. And then this room has probably been the most things. This has been such a chameleon of a room. It started as my daughter's room. She was 2 and we had lived in an apartment and this was her first room. So she had a bed, a little tea table for all of her stuffed animals. There was a little closet. And again, it just had really great light in this room. And she started here. Then this room became my office. So I moved in here right after I quit my job at King Community and started to do YouTube full time. I had my office in here, which was really great. See, this was the master, and Philippe and I thought it would be better if we put the two girls in here, and we called it the sister suite. And we had one bed here, another bed there. It was the cutest little room, a toy closet, and then they also had their own separate little closets. This is all our stuff getting ready to go. See, it was so cute. And then there was a door out to the backyard that went to their little play set. So it was like the perfect little room for two small girls. And when I look into this room, I see all of the play dates that they had and the slumber parties and the fact that my kids and their friends all grew up in this room. This was a bathroom we actually never redid, just because we had kids in this bathroom. And we thought, you know what, when you two go to college, we'll redo it. But we never did. So it just stayed just like that. But it was perfect for the two of them. When the pandemic hit, I had a 9-year-old and a 14-year-old, and that's a big age difference. They were not really into the same thing. So this is what happened. The eldest daughter, she was so desperate for her own room, she just gave the younger daughter the big room, and then she went back into this little room. This was the master bedroom, so we still have some drapes here. I think those have to come down. But this was my husband's office at one point when we had the big room. Then this was also a closet, this area, but we knocked out the closet and turned it into a really nice master bath, which was quite lovely and fabulous, with also a door out to the outside so we could kind of check on the kids if they were out there. And then we had like a lot of closet space, which was really great. See, this was my closet, which was pretty awesome. I really loved it because I had never had a big walk-in closet before. And then there was this nice little detail with the iron and the ironing board. I really love that. Yeah, that was my closet. And my husband, he just wanted this closet. I don't know, he doesn't have that much stuff. So this was his closet. And then he had a dresser. And that seemed to just work fine. And then this was our backyard, and this was what really sold us on this house. It's a huge piece of property. It's a small house on a big piece of property, and we just always love that. It reminded me of Connecticut, where you have those big yards and there's plenty of land, and you don't really get that so much in LA. I love looking at this back of the house because when we first bought it, this building was not here. There was just like a big concrete slab. Kids used to like to ride their little tricycles on it. But then my husband decided he needed an exterior office. The kids were little and it was just so loud, and it was such a dream of his to have this, and I'm so glad that he finally made it happen. And we really wanted it to look like the rest of the house, which I think it did. Let me take you inside. It's the cutest little room, and he did it to kind of, I think, escape all of us, but then we all wanted to come in here to be in here with him because it was such a cool space. It had vaulted ceilings, which was awesome, and a huge door, which was great, and these beautiful cabinets that he actually designed and had built, and he had 2 desks like here. I just have the best memories. On Saturday mornings, my husband and I would get up early, and he had 2 leather chairs, and we would sit here and have coffee together. Just get that really awesome couple time that you don't usually get when you have a busy family and everybody was asleep, and he and I would just be in here and talk and kind of plot what the next, I don't know, couple decades of our life were gonna look like. This is where it was all hatched, where we decided, you know what, I think we want a different life. I think we want to go experience what it's like to go live in France. Okay, but this house just didn't empty itself. We spent several days emptying, packing, organizing, all of the things that we were gonna send to France and all of the things we were gonna give away. It was so great when the packers finally arrived and put all of the stuff that was being sent into boxes. I think the whole thing took about an hour. They came in, wrapped it all up, packed it. It was amazing. We felt very accomplished. But certainly, I think the hardest part of emptying any house is that last, say, 3%, when you're really making headway, but you're not quite there yet. Okay, just a few more pieces. We're getting there. More stuff for the charity. We still have the treadmill. Oh, this treadmill. I am striking out. I have one more person I can call. And we'll call them today. But you can't really clean out a house unless you're out of the house. So we checked into a hotel for a week. George. All right, we've made it to the hotel. This is our home for the next week while we clean everything out of the house. I also think this part is the hardest because you come across these little sentimental mementos that are tucked into drawers and things. And when I come across them, I'm like, how can I not take this?
So I was sticking things in my purse here and there. We also spent some time just going to some of our favorite restaurants with friends, like our local Mexican spot. This is the kind of thing that we won't be able to have in France, and so that was really fun to make time to do that. Each morning before heading to the house, I was down in the hotel bar where they were serving coffee just to keep working on the cookbook. So there's little, reviews that I have to do now that we have all the photos, just to make sure everything's standing tall. Next to my parents, the thing that I'm going to miss most about LA is my vegetable garden. This garden is near and dear to my heart because we built it from the ground up when my children were small, and it's been fun to see the garden mature right alongside with the kids. So in addition to cleaning out the house, we also have to clean out the garden. This is another room in the house. So I am basically spending this morning cleaning out this garden shed because there's a lot of stuff in here that is kind of junk and I don't want to leave it for the new owners. So I'm basically just organizing it and keeping everything that they may want. And the other thing I'm doing, I don't know, this might be a little extra, but I am going around and fertilizing all of these fruit trees and the citrus trees because there are so many buds on them and so many little fruits that are starting. It's going to be really great and they're going to want to see all this great fruit. So I want to set it up for success. It's really funny because houses for me have such soul. They really are like people, and I get very sentimental and attached to homes that I have lived in. And I feel a little bit like when I'm dropping George off at the kennel and I'm kind of petting him before I let him go, and I say, look, you're gonna be okay, don't worry, everything's gonna be fine. That's sort of what I feel like with this house. I'm fertilizing everything and pruning it just to make sure that it's okay, because I think it'll take a while for the owners to figure out how to care for the garden, how to care for the property, and I just want to make sure they're all cared for before I leave. And I was just going to type up a little, 10 things to know about the house and the garden so that they don't have to learn the hard way the way I did. The other thing that was so great about this garden is that it was surrounded by a big hedge. So you always just felt enveloped by this garden, and it just, I don't know, it always felt to me like I was just embraced by it, getting a big hug from all of these plants and things that were living. It was just like having another room to the house. It just was such a great space, and I'm so glad we bit the bullet and did that. So hopefully they will think so too. Meanwhile, we finally found someone to take the treadmill. Hi, treadmill, we'll miss you. The killer tip, call TaskRabbit and pay for the delivery. That way they can't say no. We have come to check on the party. Our house is in no shape to host a party, so we are having it here at a little tennis club that we have belonged to since we've been here in LA, and it looks like things are shaping up. So we went with the red, white, and blue theme in honor of the French and American flag. We're gonna have a buffet here. Oddly, we're doing a Mexican fiesta. That was one of the options. And that's one of the things I am really going to miss about our life in LA is Mexican food. That is something you just cannot really get in France. Maybe in Paris, but not in the little small town that we are going to. Just to keep things simple, I went with large terracotta pots filled with lavender. I figured the guests could take those with them after the party. And then for the flags, we had some American and Italian flags in honor of my daughter, who's headed to Italy for school, and of course the French flag. This is a little dessert station, so we have flan and churros we're serving as part of our Mexican buffet. And then, of course, I needed something a little bit more celebratory, so I also ordered a cake. But I got it from one of our favorite French bakeries here in town called Pascal's Patisserie, and I think they're probably going to do a pretty good job. This is amazing! Now tell me, what did you do? This is so cute.
This is my partner, he did this.
He did
You
that.
have a plane, you have a suitcase, you have a flag, you have macarons, Eiffel Tower.
Oh my gosh, you
She's
did
going
it
to
all!
Italy and she's moving to France.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. That is so adorable.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, amazing. Thank you.
Okay,
the bottom layer was a strawberry whipped cream cake in honor of France, and the top layer was a tiramisu in honor of Italy. It was as delicious as it was adorable. Everybody had a great time at the party. It was a collection of family and friends from all different parts of our life here in LA. And the best part was I didn't have to cook or clean any of it up. It was just perfect. the final send-off. We are here at the house for the last time, meeting the new owners to drop off the keys and the gate clicker. The weird story though about this house that I have to tell you is that we love this house so much, it started to love us back in the weirdest ways. Soon after we moved into this house and started to fix it up, I started seeing hearts. I know, hearts, it's super weird. I would see them in the garden in the shapes of stones. I would see them in the fruit. Apricots, the first year they came up, we found a few that were shaped as hearts. I've seen them in a coffee mug. I've seen them in potatoes. The weirdest one was right after my husband's office was built, we noticed a heart that was in the step, which was really strange. There's no other pattern in these steps except for the heart. You see the heart? Isn't that weird? It's right on the step in my husband's office. It's so cute. So a few weeks ago, I was getting the garden ready for the new owners and I was just sort of pruning things and I took a lettuce leaf and sure enough, in the lettuce leaf was a little heart. So it's so sweet. It is the house that just loved us back. Hey, Georgie. The last few days was a race to the finish line. First up, we had to take George to the kennel to get him ready for his big flight.
It's time, honey bunny. You just have to go through the yucky part before you get to the good part, okay?
Then we had a big family reunion with a ton of family coming in, cousins I hadn't seen in years. It was so great to get everybody together. My parents' new house has like the most spectacular view, which I love. We had a beautiful night for it. Then we celebrated my mom's 80th birthday, which was another fun event. And it was great because she was able to be there, surrounded by all of her grandchildren, which was really a unique experience. All of this was leading up to my brother's memorial golf tournament. So sadly, my brother passed away a few years ago just from a sudden heart attack. And his wife, my sister-in-law, to deal with her grief, started to really get into golf and wanted to organize an annual golf tournament in his name. All right, sis, are we everybody checked in?
Yep, but we are having a blast.
So funny because that looks so much like him. My brother was an amazing golfer. It was one of his favorite sports, but he was also an amazing uncle to all of our kids. He was the guy that everybody wanted to be around. If you were under 10, you would just seek out his company because he was kind of like a big kid himself. So it was so funny to see his nieces and nephews all participate in this golfing tournament, many of which had never tried it before, and this was their first go at it. And I think he would have gotten such a kick out of seeing all of these kids playing golf. There was also such a great turnout of friends from all of his parts of life that came out to play golf and honor his memory.
Husband, father, brother, son, uncle. Just a great overall human being.
Hey, Luke and I, we are ready. We're golfing. We are lined up and ready to start our engines. But too bad Auntie Beth has
Those are my clubs.
This is gloves. I've never driven a golf cart before, so this should be fun.
It's just like driving a car.
It's like driving a car. Here we go. Whee! I was so impressed to see my sister-in-law, who had become such a great golfer.
Way to go!
That's how it's done, Luke. And the kids had so much fun trying it too. They're doing great. The best part is we're playing with Joy, and she's an excellent teacher. We need the help. Joy was so great because she taught all the kids about the rules of the game, the etiquette of the game. And for me, it really helped me understand what my brother loved about golfing. This was my first time out on a real golf course, seeing how the game was played. And you could see just the beauty of it all and the serenity. You have no choice but to sit down and relax. There's no place to go.
Whoa, look at that. All right, you guys, I know it's not exactly as good as the real thing, but it was about a year ago that we were there. Time flies.
I know. And now we're in LA and going bowling.
Yes.
So for our last night in LA, I thought it would be fun to take all of the cousins bowling. So this new bowling alley called Pinstripes, which is a national chain, just opened up in Los Angeles, and we had been hearing so many great things about it, and I thought it would be the perfect time to try it out. We got 2 lanes and settled into our little space here. The other thing that I loved about Pinstripes is they have the most incredible menu for kids and for grown-ups. It's not like your regular bowling fare. We placed our order and then got down to business. It was so fun to see the kids bowling together because it's a really fun bonding experience. You have the older cousins teaching the younger cousins, and it even worked for the smallest cousin thanks to the use of this little slide that they had. They could put the bowling ball down and watch it go down the lane. It just was really cute to see them all cheering for each other and rooting each other on. It's also the kind of activity that also works for the grown-ups too, which you can't really say that about all kids' activities. And the food came and it was really amazing. We had maple glazed salmon, caramelized Brussels sprouts, some pizza, roasted potatoes, and then they also had things like salads and chicken fingers and spaghetti for the kids. It really just pleased everybody. And then, of course, we had to try the dessert. We got some creme brulee cheesecake with a berry compote, a brownie sundae, a tiramisu, and some ice cream.
It is so good. The whole food experience was amazing. So good.
It was such a wonderful bonding experience for everybody on our last night. It is time to get on this flight. We have said so many goodbyes. We have packed so many suitcases, and we are waiting for the cars.
I'll stay here. You're gonna go back for the next batch?
We had 12 suitcases and counting, and Luke and my sister had come down that morning to help us get all the luggage ready and give us one final goodbye. Look at all these bags. It was going to take 2 cars to get us to the airport. It's never easy saying goodbye to family, and I think it was just really great to have my sister there that morning because she always keeps everything fun and positive and was seeing it as an adventure that we were going on and not something that we were leaving behind. And I think I really needed that morning. The other thing that was great is she's the only one in my whole family who's actually been to our house in France. She knew exactly where we were going, and I think for that, she was the most excited. One of the things I've been thinking a lot during this whole process is the fact that it's never too late to take a big swing at life. I think sometimes we're taught to believe that those big swings are only for the young, that it's something that you do when you're in your 20s or maybe right after college. But I actually think taking big risks is what keeps us young. And for me, I'm excited for this. I'm excited for the personal growth that I know will come out of this experience. I know it's not always going to be easy. I know there will be times that will be challenging. Even as much as I love France, there are things that the United States does really well. Convenience and lack of bureaucracy in some sense. But I do believe parents are the children's best teachers, and I just keep thinking what a wonderful experience for our girls to see their parents doing something like this first.
Okay, here we go.
No turning back now.